This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
Well, just when you think they are done with one tax. Oh, no. Let's reach back here, grab that, put that right back on the table.
Oh, yeah.
The debt has to be paid, and you think the government's going to pay it themselves? Ha ha! You're adorable. I'm Heather Branch. This is Jon Hicks, financial advisor, founder of J. Hagan Capital. As you are listening, participating in this video, this podcast, if you want to talk to Jon and his team, you can reach out by going to our website, retirementsolutionshow.com, or clicking the links we've got posted in the show notes. So let's talk about this headline happening in New York City, Mr. Hicks.
Do we want to talk about anything that's happening right now?
There's a lot going on
in New York City.
There's a lot happening.
I mean, unless you're talking about Aaron Judge having an okay baseball season. You know, our Juan Soto going from, the Yankees to the Mets and doing quite well.
Yeah.
And the Knicks, of course, having one. So really, to me, most of the New York stories, they really need to be based on sports.
Sports stories.
The political environment there is a little
dicey.
Little less attractive.
It's a little dicey.
Just a little.
Depending on who you're talking to. So in the Big Apple, what's being proposed is a pied-à-terre tax. And it sounds like
Which
a delicious
is French for
snack.
We're going to come after your money. It's really what it boils down to.
It's aimed at certain high-value second homes.
Yeah.
In fact, city officials recently published a database showing thousands of properties that could potentially be affected. So I guess let's just start with what is the pied-à-terre tax, the story, the history behind that.
Sure. So the one thing to understand is that when taxes go on the system, when taxes go on the books, it is really, really, really hard to get them off. As a matter of fact, the very first tax in America for income tax was in 1916, and it was supposed to only last for 100 years. That would have put us in 2016. We should have gotten rid of
10
the income
years
tax.
ago.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we? Oh, and Heather, guess what the first tax rate was? The first income tax rate was?
Like, what, 5-10%?
1%.
Perfect.
1%. So not only 100 years later did the 1% tax not go away, the lowest marginal income tax now is 10, although most people effectively pay 12, but the average 22 to 24%. That's a far cry from 1%. And yet, because it's on the books, it is really hard to get rid of. So what a pied-à-terre tax is, it sounds French because it is. The French were trying to find a way, how can we make money from the nobility without stealing their money and properties and so forth? Let's just come up with a different tax so that we can create these tax dollars that we need to spend, by we meaning the politicians. Politicians need to spend to do things that politicians need to get done, which typically means probably pad their own pockets. But, it is what it is. They say they're doing it for the greater good. All of the stuff that they have going on, it just makes me unbelievably uncomfortable. But having said that, in New York, I think they had been talking about it. And so a pied-à-terre tax here is if you own a second home in New York, but it's not your primary residence, they were going to hit you with a tax. Okay. So that had been around since about 2014. They talked about it, but it wasn't law. So believe it or not, this was one of those things where Ken Griffin, if anyone is, he's one of the biggest billionaires on the planet. He founded Citadel and is truly one of the wealthiest human beings alive. As a matter of fact, there was a movie called Dumb Money when he was a character in that, not him himself, but he was a character in that, about how to make money on the whole GameStop thing. Anyway, it's really intriguing if you're into all that geeky finance stuff. But Ken Griffin decided, because that pied-à-terre tax did not go into place, all of his tax geniuses said it's effectively dead. Mr. Griffin, do not worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. If you're going to buy a second home in New York, you're not going to have to worry about it. So in 2019, Ken Griffin, the billionaire, ended up buying the most expensive property ever sold in the United States for $238 million. Was not his primary residence. It was a second home that he was going to use when he would go up to New York to do business, so forth.
Okay.
So amazingly enough, he bought that in 2019 because he thought that this tax on second homes was never going to come into effect. And then lo and behold, what happened in this year? A gentleman was elected mayor named Mondami, who decided, you know what? This is a great idea. We want to tax the snot out of the rich. So why don't we go ahead and institute this thing and put it into play immediately? And ladies and gentlemen, he did. So all of a sudden, Ken Griffin's $238 million home, which he heard from all of probably the best genius tax people out there, thought it was completely gone, it was never going to happen, was put in place where he actually now would owe a tax on that $238 million property. As a matter of fact, not only is he one of those ones, but then there was over 13,000 homes ranging from like little row houses in New York all the way up to some of the largest houses in all of New York City. And all of these things would potentially have another tax on it. This would potentially raise millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars for the government, for the local government. And the craziest thing is like, well, hold on. How did people not know that law should have been dead? Because it's that quick. It's that quick that the government can change its mind and go ahead and institute a tax, and there's not much we can do about it. So my point to all this is, if you've never done a tax analysis to find out how to get retirement right, understand that is the starting point. You have to know where you are today to then find out what do we think could happen down the road, and then what reasonably could happen, even if it's negative. It could be positive, but maybe it's negative. Because here's what I'm thinking, guys. When you're looking at it, why did New York do that? Well, because they were running out of money. They do not have enough money to do all the social agendas that the new mayor wants, whether they're good or they're bad or we hate it. The point is they don't have enough money for it, so they're trying to find it. What do you think our federal government is doing right now, trying to figure it out? And remember, in 2016, there was a political hopeful named Hillary Clinton who did come up with mathematically a great way to help erase or reduce tremendously the national debt. And her point was she wanted a tax. If you have money in your tax-deferred accounts, your 401ks and IRAs, if you are now passed away and so is your spouse, guess what? Your retirement is effectively over. So because of that, she would love the idea, at least back in the day, her part of her plan, to have over a 60% tax. I believe the number was 67%. I'll have to look me up on that. But over 60% on the money when you and your spouse are gone before it goes to the next generation. Guys, that is a tremendous amount of money. 70% of what you worked your hind end off for what purpose? To end up going to the government? So my point is, we never know what's going to happen, but these are things that right now we can make plans to protect ourselves from. It's not even expensive to typically do that kind of planning. It just takes a little forethought. What do we really think is going to happen? How much do you have saved that you want to protect? How much do you want to be certain that the money that you worked hard for goes where you want it to go and not where the government dictates? We're not talking about just a simple will or even a living trust or things like that. We're talking about, are there smart things we can do now that in the event that the tax rates have to go up and there's just no way around it, and the government will say, hey, we wish that we didn't have to do it, even if they're honest about it. We wish we didn't have to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, we don't have enough money. We're going to have to take it. And if you've got a little bit more, we're going to take a little bit more from you, because the people that don't have any, they don't have any to give us. That's just how it is, right? And so my fear is that we are only so far away. I don't know how many trillions away, but not that many away from where we will not really have enough money coming in to cover our debt service, which is the interest we pay on that national debt, without it causing a problem, right? So we have to understand, if we're being good stewards of our money, we want to make sure that, number one, we're protecting it from all the stuff we can. Number two, we want to make sure that we can have that income to live the way we want. But then we also have to be really conscious of what is that tax law probably going to be. Right now, it's in stone for the next 2 years, at least through this administration. After that, this midterm election could already start changing what happens next, or the next administration, or whatever it's going to be. But let's learn from what's happening in New York City. The things that are happening there, I do not have a very favorable opinion of. Now, having said that, that is my opinion. But going so far as to say that if they can do it in a city of billionaires, in a city that houses, New York City, right? Manhattan houses some of the richest, most wealthy, most well-to-do finance managers on the planet. And they, whether they wanted to or not, have allowed that to happen. However it did. So if it can happen there, can it happen in our neck of the woods? It absolutely can, right? And that was a mayor. That's not even the state government, right? That's not even the federal government. That is a city. That is a mayor of a city. So when we think about that, could that happen? It absolutely could. So we just want to be very honest with ourselves and protect what we can protect. Some of us, we're like, John, if I'm gone, well, that's just how it is. I'm going to celebrate the big bang of glory of whenever I go do my next thing. And this is the next group's problem. I don't really worry about it. But I think I talk to so many people that listen to this show and they listen to conservatism and talk radio and just their mindset is, I hate the idea that the government would end up doing whatever it is they want with my life savings. Well, here's the point, guys. We have a decision every day that we can make to find out what the alternatives are and how can we protect ourselves from that, right? People in New York that didn't do it, even Ken Griffin, it's not that he got bad information. It's just it changes that quickly. So we want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves now and then we're staying up with it, right? Because it's one of those important things. What if we're going to save this money, I would much rather you use it or gift it or give it and enjoy that gift than just being mad and fuming that the government's just going to take more from it because we didn't use it all. That's a big one.
As to your point, though, John, it can change at any given moment, and it will change. The laws will change. You listening to this podcast, watching this video, hopefully you're going to have decades of a happy, healthy retirement. So with that, you should expect many laws to change. And at J. Hagan Capital, John and his team, they are here to evolve with you, move with you through retirement, keep you up to date on what might change, how it could affect you for the years ahead. Make the plan now, adjust as you go along. They're here to help you with that. So if you've got questions for John and his team about how to hedge yourself, protect yourself from future tax hikes, let's get to work showing you what your options are. RetirementSolutionShow.com is our website where you can go to start the conversation or just click on the links we've got posted here in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with Jon Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with John and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting RetirementSolutionRadio.com. Be sure to listen to John's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through J. Hagan Capital, LLC, NPN number 188279094.